Hi, welcome JT back again. Though I feel a badass sober companions for everybody, I have certain areas that I feel like I work well in. In this video, I'm going to concentrate on musicians. First and foremost, I am a musician, have been for over 40 years. And one of the things about musicians is this idea of the muse. What I like to call the drunken muse, and this goes way back to Dionysius and the Maenads. And these guys used to have, Dionysius was the god of wine. Dionysius was also the god of insanity. And these guys used to go out in the woods and they'd play music and drink wine and dance into ecstasy. And then of course they'd wake up the next day and see the carnage that they had wrought. And it hasn't changed a bit in 4,000 years. The same thing goes on. This was kind of like the ancient rave, and we have the same thing that goes on today. So all we have to do is the carnage that is wrought is look around to all the musicians that died early and from this disease. And just in my lifetime, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, James Morrison, but there were others like Billie Holiday, Charlie Parker, Edith Piaf, and more recently Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. All of them, from either drug overdoses or using drugs for years and years and years. So this has been going on and still continues to haunt us to this day. And it's truly one of the most saddest things, because I sometimes wonder, what would Jimmy have done if he lived another 20, 30 years, the music he would have made? Not to mention just the wonderful life that he would have lived and given to all of us. If you had spoken to any of these people, one of the things they probably would have told you is that when they were stoned is when they were the most creative. And this is an absolute lie. And I can just point to myself as an example. I wrote music for years, but I always wrote in collaborations with people, and usually under the influence. And when I got sober, I was a percussionist. I played drums for years, and all that time I always wanted to play the guitar. And there was always this little voice in the back of my head that said, "You're not good enough. You're not smart enough." So I never picked up the guitar. It was completely out of fear. And when I got sober at one point, it was about a year or so afterwards, I was broke. I had to turn off the internet. I had to turn off my cable TV. I had nothing to entertain me except this old beat up guitar that I've been carrying around for years. And at that point, I had what I like to call the aha moment. And it was like, hey, maybe I can now learn how to play guitar. And that's exactly what I did. And that was years ago. And 3 weeks after I strung up that guitar and learned my first couple of chords, I wrote my first song. And today I have over 60 published songs that I've put down over the years. And my creative spirit and process is stronger than ever now that I'm sober. And it comes from being sober. And I believe in getting in touch with that muse. But today I believe more than ever that it's possible just to put that antenna up and get those creative juices going again by being sober. I'm much more capable of getting in touch with that creative side of me. That I'm clear, I'm focused. And it's an amazing process that happens. I just wrote a song the other day. And I literally wrote this song in 20 minutes. The next day when I woke up, I came out, I looked at it, and I was like, who wrote this? Oh, it was me. It's almost like I was in a trance while I was writing it. And it came out almost formed out already. And I spent the next 3 or 4 days fine-tuning it. But the one thing that I go over and over again with musicians and anyone in the creative field is the fact that this idea that you need to be high is absolutely false. It is a lie. And then if you get in touch with your sober side, you'll see this, and your creative spirit will just soar. So thank you.